So I think it's pretty well known and obvious that the fewer keys you're typing on, the closer you are to nirvana and the more social and interpersonal respect you will garner. That's not true? Okay, I'm your cool Uncle Marissa, and let's build the Owlab Voice Mini macropad. So the biggest keyboard I have is 60%. I'm still looking for that, dream 40%, maybe even a 30, but macropads are there to make it kind of easier, even though that's kind of cheating. And I wasn't ever super interested in the macropad, but then I saw the Owlab Voice Mini. I don't know why it's called that, but it looks so good. It looks like someone took a regular sized keyboard and just squish, like it's just like, it's small, but it's like chunky. I saw them on a lot of different vendor sites for quite a while, and I really wanted one just because they're so cute. And you know how it is. You don't need one, so you don't get it. But a series of circumstances led me to consume. So first off, I built the Zoom 65 on my channel. You might have seen it. It's a beautiful keyboard. It's hefty, it sounds wonderful. It's fairly straightforward to build, especially, if you're a beginner, but 65%, man, that was just too much for me. But one thing that I really miss about that keyboard, because I did end up selling it, was the volume wheel. So I kind of wanted a macro pad for that reason. And then the Owlab Voice Mini went on sale. So I grabbed one and I figured we could build it together and see if there's a point to having a macro pad. Let's go, let's do this. All right, we've got a very nice box here, very difficult to recycle. And it's very simple. We have the macro pad. It looks beautiful. It feels weighty. And the accessories. The accessories are just the bumper feet, some screws, and Allen keys. It does not come with a USB-C cable. And now before we do anything, we need to turn on the device using this little switch. I wish there was a way to turn it off in a more accessible fashion, because when I was using it with Bluetooth, it drained really quickly. Just gonna put the bumpers on. I like how the indents exist for where to put the bumpers. It's a nice touch. And I'm trying out these MMD Princess tactile switches. They are pretty heavy, but I think that thunk will be nice in a macro pad. I bought the MW Colorado split spacebar kit to use for this. By the way, there is the possibility of inserting a stabilizer for the ISO enter. I chose not to do it because it's not a huge deal to me. And our ISO key is from the Summer Goddess Festival keycap set. You can see it's kind of loose because of the lack of the stabilizer, but I don't mind. All right, so not surprisingly, that was pretty simple and straightforward. So let's just talk about it real quick. I do love it as a novelty, definitely. I've actually seen people buy these and just use it to display their artisans, which I think is a very expensive way to display your artisans, but yeah, do what you like. I think that the layout of it is really interesting. The ISO enter key, especially, I need to find a better one than this like weavy one. When I had built this, I had the intention of using it with my laptop and my 48 keyboard. Then in the midst of all of this, I ended up getting a computer, which I use my Saturn 60 with. So it feels a little less crucial to my DaVinci Resolve video editing workflow to use a macropad, but it's still something I definitely use. What I use the most on it is the volume wheel. And I have so many ways on my computer to control the volume, through the PC, through my speaker volume dial, through my amp volume dial, and if I want to stand up, through the volume dial on my receiver. But this is the most convenient of all of them. You know, you can pull it towards you, you don't have to lean forward. We can be the society that was depicted in WALL-E with this macropad. Build quality is absolutely incredible. It's heavier than my bare bones keyboard, which is bigger. The build quality does actually feel very similar to the Zoom keyboards. They are very heavy, absolutely quality. And I love the light show that you can pick. You have a lot of options for mapping it. Here are some nitpicks I also have with it. So my first nitpick with it, the website linked for the documentation is not accessible. You have to find a different link through, you know, some vendor who has the correct link, and I'll put it in the description. Hopefully it stays alive. But it's like, come on guys, make it accessible. And then it uses QK config, which is not QMK and it's not VIA. And those are the two sort of common mappers, and so you have to use something new. It's pretty straightforward. It is actually very similar to VIA in terms of user interface, but it's just one more thing that you have to download, so that's like meh. Otherwise, I don't have any huge gripes with it. It's really nice. The only thing that I do want to point out that I think is a me problem, but I just want to put it out there. So this has two methods of connectivity. You can do it through USB-C or Bluetooth, and it actually has two Bluetooth profiles. So you could actually use it with two different computers, or you know, a computer and an iPad, whatever your imagination compels you to. And that's very neat. I mean, you have Bluetooth earbuds today that have trouble connecting to more than one device. So that's really neat. But the Bluetooth does not connect to my PC. But I am thinking that that might be a me problem, because my PC is having a lot of trouble connecting to a lot of Bluetooth things, except for, you know, Windows proprietary mouse is okay. PS4 controllers and other, you know, game pads connect okay. But I've had some issues with some Bluetooth things, and I think that it's because there's some sort of dead zone in our apartment, because also where my computer is, if you try to use Wi-Fi, things tend to just be slow as slime. So that might be a me problem. But that being said, it would have been nice to have a 2.4 connector, because that has been my solution for a lot of wireless things, is using the 2.4, because that connection does not seem to get interrupted with whatever's going on in my room. I'm using it with a USB cable, and it actually fits right in with my setup. It's also just a visual treat. The number of little colors it has, the light show that you get is absolutely delightful. So if you've been on the fence about getting one of these, I definitely recommend it. I'm still trying to come up with what macros exactly would help me. If it's any inspiration to you, when I was planning on using it for my laptop, I had it mapped to shortcuts for DaVinci that I commonly use. Right now, the one thing I have mapped that I do use is I have it mapped to put my computer to sleep. Think about it. It can be helpful for any sort of workflow you have. You could probably have it if you do a lot of Zoom calls. You could have it be like an end call, a mute, and unmute, things like that. Macropad's a very neat piece to have, I think, especially if you use it creatively and not just to replicate buttons that are under layers on your own keyboard. They can really just make any sort of workflow faster and more seamless.
Wait, hold on, quick interruption. Do you like surfaces? Any sort of surface, your dresser, your water bottle, your laptop. If so, Cool Uncle has stickers now. And you can decorate your favorite surfaces with a reminder that Cool Uncle loves you, even though fish maybe are a bit reluctant about you. I learned pixel art just to make this fish. It was a vision. But wait, do you hate surfaces? No problem. If you hate surfaces, you can use Cool Uncle stickers to cover them up so you don't have to look at those ugly surfaces anymore. So head on over to my Ko-fi shop and grab some stickers for your surfaces, whether you love them or hate them. They're a great solution for all types of surface-to-person relationships. All right, back to your regularly scheduled Uncle programming. Bye.
That's all I have for you today about the Owlab Voice Mini. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait for us to build something together again in the near future, so stick around if that's the kind of stuff you're interested in, and don't forget that you are always welcome at Cool Uncle's house. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.